Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is A Woman's Prerogative, Part 1. We'll be back later today with A Woman's Prerogative, Part 2. Our topic is a big one: women and educational inequality. What does this mean? I don't really know. I came up with the topic, but I'm hoping my panelists will help us figure it out. Let's welcome Jenetta Barry and the Epiphany Process. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. I'm actually looking forward to this topic immensely.
Fantastic. It might be a good time for me to take a lunch break then. You can.
Not that long ago, I tried.
And let us welcome Dr. Madalene Chan. Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Jacalyn. Hi, Jenetta.
Hello.
I'm kind of going to be listening so much with this topic because it's so new for me to experience. So I'm super looking forward to it. So maybe I'll be joining you for the lunch break as well, Dr. Jacalyn.
By the way, to learn more about listening, go to the Power of Listening courses on our platform, usaglobaltv.com/education. Now, let's welcome the Harley Street stress expert and the founder of Bust Your Stress, Caroline HEWARD.
Bust your stress.
Always wonderful to be in this panel. I feel like my day starts when I come here. I just feel so enthused and enlivened. I really feed and give energy to this show. So thank you very much, Dr. Jacalyn, for having me on board.
Thank you very much. The three of you are all dear friends as well. And that's part of the fun about being on our platform, is that we become friends, we support each other and help collaborate. So I'm hoping that you'll help me collaborate when we talk about women and educational inequality. So first of all, how important is education to you? Has it been something in your life where you wanted to get certain degrees or certain certifications? I could already answer for each of you, but I'd like to hear from you. Jenetta Barry, tell us, how important has education and certifications been to you in your career and for you personally?
That much. That's important to me.
That would be two big zeros.
Two big zeros. 0 important. I just found I didn't fit into a schooling system that clearly wasn't designed for me, and it put me off qualifying in the future. In fact, it quite frankly filled me with absolute fear and trepidation. Having said that, actually, it's not true. I do have a qualification, and this is a really interesting story I'm happy to share a bit later when everybody's had their opinion on the question you've asked, Dr. Jacalyn. But I've just found that my biggest qualification, which without sounding cheesy, really has been my University of Life experience. And it's because I've had to walk the walk. I speak from my heart. And it's not important to me to have to say I've got a PhD or a XYZ or a whatever. I'm not saying it would enhance what I do, because it more than likely would. I'm not saying it's useless, but I do feel I've managed very well without it.
All right. Thank you very much. 00. Janetta Barry is on the education. Now, let's go over and hear what Caroline Heward, the Harley Street stress expert, has to say.
Well, I'm the complete opposite to Jenetta. Every step of the way, I have been doing paper qualifications, exams, and I'm still in it. I've just literally today submitted, after online training, my suicide and self-harm final piece of submission for the final option and section. And I worked all night on it and all weekend and a lot of last week and the week before, because it was really important to me. And that has been my thing. I've always constantly been, ever since I left school, in constant education of one form or another. And in the last couple of decades, I've actually been doing a lot more of the therapy side of things, which aren't so recognised. Certainly when I started back in 2000, and there's much more now that's recognised. I even did my NLP up to masters and hypnotherapy twice. The first time in 2000 and again in 2007. And I'm actually doing a review training coaching course, which combines counselling, NLP, stress management and hypnotherapy and hypnosis. And I'm just going through that process as well. So for me, it's a big thumbs up. And I am finding that there is a lot of people in my field, particularly, that don't have any qualifications and that are doing probably what I would say is far better than me, you know, and got far more profile after reading a book or, you know, sort of attending a weekend training course. But it's, from my perspective, it's about the paper qualification to say, yes, I am educated and I have passed the qualification to do the work that I'm doing. And that's actually what put me into Harley Street, the qualifications. Otherwise, they would never have accepted me. So it's a big thumbs up. And it's hard work, it's tireless, because I'm constantly at it and always looking at bettering what I have and never being satisfied with where I've got.
All right, Caroline, the exact opposite of Janetta. Bust your stress, 100 on the education.
Bust your stress.
Bust
Your stress.
And friends, we do have Dr. DESZIREE Richardson in the house. Hello, good to have you with us.
Hi, everyone.
Oh my God.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow,
Good to have
you guys look so amazing. Everyone is just glowing and sparkling and just looking so radiant, and that's beautiful.
Well, thank you. You're looking radiant as well. We're glad to have you. Our topic today is women and educational, inequality. And we're going around talking about how important education has been in our life, whether we like degrees and certifications. Janetta is a 00 and Caroline is 100. So now we're going to go over to Dr. Chan. How important is education and certifications to you?
Well, it's a little bit between Jenetta and Caroline, because I'm kind of like in the middle. At the beginning, I didn't, because when I was younger at school, I found it didn't make sense being at school and learning all the subjects. I always felt there was a big hole there. So I decided to follow my heart and do my arts, do everything to do with art and with music, singing, dancing and everything. And it wasn't until I was about, I'd say late 40s. Yeah, late 40s. Somebody turned around and said to me, have you ever used your brain? I said, excuse me? I said, what? They said, you know, you're all heart, but really you have no common sense. Have you actually ever used your brain? And I went, well, kind of. Well, I don't know. I said, no, not really. And so that remark made me think, why am I not using my brain? What's going on? How come common sense is not flowing for me? And then I meet my ex-husband, who is a professor, because I put to the universe, okay, universe, I need to use my brain. Obviously, my mind, I'm not using it. Can you show me the way? I surrender. Next minute, I meet my ex-husband, who is a very qualified professor at the Open University. And at the time when I decided to give up my life of craziness, I went and went into a cave, a hermit, and there I was reintroduced into education. So therefore, I had to find out if I was qualified to be able to take these exams. So I did the university, Open University exams. And then from then on, I went on and did my London College of Music, the University of Westminster, for degree in music and performance. So I thank him for that. It was extremely difficult for me, extremely. I was crying most of the days. And he was understanding, but he wasn't, if you know what I mean, from a male perspective of energy. So, but I attained it, and I feel better because at least I did it. I qualified, but I qualified in what I wanted to qualify in, which was my arts and music and performance. So I got my degree in that. So as well as music, arts and history, which I got as well. So yeah, it's never too late. It's never, ever, ever too late.
Thank you, Dr. Chan. Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
love it.
big time.
In the middle. All right, we're going over to Dr. DESZIREE. How important is education, certifications? How important is it to you, and how's it been in your career? You're on mute, though. You're on mute.
Yes, education is relevant, especially in today's shaping society. I believe that if we, as a society, if we teach, we can have the, you know, the GXEs, the mathematics and all of these things, but what we need to teach as well from a tender age, from an adolescent age, is the life skills, because these are the skills that are necessary to take us on through life. So I think being educated in, you know, life skills, they are essential. And the reason why I'm saying that they are essential, because it's a part of our journey. And if we are taught at an early age these life skills, then we won't make the mistakes along the path that some of us, you know, that we made. And for me, yes, qualifications, they're so important because it helps give you the credibility. It looks good when you're qualified and in your field, whatever your field is. I think that this is so vital. So of course, qualifications are very important for us to have, but I believe that when we nurture our minds with life skills and embedding them into our mindset, especially from a tender age, then we can carry on in life, which we talk about the common sense, you know, being street smart. So these are all the necessary skills that we should have in terms of that. So I would say 50-50. We need both of them. We need, you know, the certification, we need the qualification. And as far as I am concerned in terms of education, I was lucky to be able to study broadcasting. And then I find that, so from broadcasting, I move into the business arena. So, you know, because now I'm doing business as well. So as much as we can learn on a daily basis, especially the things that we are passionate about, and how we can take that into, you know, our career and the things that we want to do, you know, in our career endeavors, then I think it is essential that we take upon, you know, getting the qualifications to give us that credibility, but also to give us that understanding and that power to know that you're knowledgeable in these areas, so that you can benefit society, you can benefit your, you know, your personal skills, your endeavors, and you can have these transformational skills that can help you along your journey in your prospects. So education and a little bit of, being, the common sense and having life skills is so important. Yeah, it's crucial.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
Yay.
DESZIREE.
Woo!
Thank you.
All right. So my comments are that, I don't know, which way do you think I lean for education? Anyone want to guess? Am I pro-education or not?
Definitely pro.
Pro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
PhD.
There is that picture with you looking so happy with your graduation cap and your gown and all. Look at, that is someone that's super proud of what they've achieved. So yeah, pro.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely pro.
Really
So,
special.
Yeah.
thank you. My father always told me that they can't take your education away from you. No one can ever take that. So I'm very big on education for myself. I'm not saying that everyone has to have formal education. For example, Dr. DESZIREE just talked about how she's been educated and trained in broadcasting. I had no formal education in broadcasting, but I used what I learned in my business career, interviewing CEOs and senior level executives, to be able to bring that over to here. So my education and background is not in broadcasting, which is interesting, but my doctorate's in business administration, and then my master's and my bachelor's are in finance. So I love certifications. I love getting the degrees. I love having all the things that you hang up. They're all over there on the table in front of me, and it just makes me smile. Do I think everyone needs to have formal education? No. I think you could be educated in life experiences, and being open to learning. For example, we teach the power of listening. That's not taught that I know of in formal education. At least I've never had formal education. But as long as people are interested in growing and bettering themselves to bring value to others, whatever that looks like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
We've got some comments from Diane Greer, looking at us, watching on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for your comment. And also to GAFA. Thank you so much, Dr. Madalene Chan, and also GAFA, powerful show. Thank you. All right, so let's go with the topic. What is educational inequality? What comes up for you when I mention this? I'm going to go over to Dr. DESZIREE.
So let me go back here and kind of like go back to when we talk about inequality. So education inequality sometimes it's unfair because we overlook the people in society. We give the best opportunities to people who come from a different class, and we put people in tax brackets, and and I think that's inequality. I think that every person, every child deserves the rights to, free education. And I think sometimes it's unfair in the system, especially where I came from, where, some children, if you come from humble beginnings, or you come from this family or that family, you're in the back of the queue, or sometimes even not in the queue, to have the opportunity. These opportunities are given to other families who are in society. And I think that's unfair. So I think that we need to change that perspective, because, every child deserves a chance to, to gain a scholarship. Every child deserves a chance to have free education. And I think that it's in itself is inequality for me when it comes to education, ensuring that everyone in the world, they're equal, they have the same entitlement, the same birthrights to free education, whatever that is. I think we all deserve that, and everyone deserve a chance to shine in the world filled with endless possibilities. And if education is one of the things that that needs to be designed to give everyone the chance, then so be it. So when it comes to inequality, I just believe that every child in this world needs a chance to be educated. Doesn't matter how they were born in the world. They all need a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Who would like to comment on what Dr. DESZIREE said, or give their own opinion? Hey, it's a talk show. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. I will. I'll talk.
Thank you.
I totally agree with you, Dr. DESZIREE Richardson, in every way. But I also believe that the teaching system has been a real letdown in the 3D. So basically, it has to be where it's balanced. So we have the intellect as the logic of subjects, but then we need to also have it balanced with the heart subjects, which is where they're using their creativity, where they're using how they would interpret, how they would bring solutions into the world, instead of told, this is how it is, this inventor did this, and this event happened in history of this, and this is how you do the maths for this and this, which is fundamentally the foundations. But we need to have it. So if education is open to everyone on a global perspective, no matter where they're coming from what background, education, you're right, Princess DESZIREE, that education should be free, but it should be free where it's the right education, not the wrong education, because many people have got their degrees and got their doctorates and all this, and what has it been for? What has it been for? Some of them, they're questioning. So everything needs to be a balance, come into a balance. So if we're going to offer this education to all around the world, let it be the right education.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Chan.
I agree. I think it's very important that everybody does get an education, as you said, Dr. DESZIREE, very, very, really heart-opening. But I mentioned this last week in the World Jenny's Day show and all that World Jenny's Day is about. We're part of a schooling system that was created for the Industrial Revolution so that the next generation of scientists and mathematicians would be created. And for anybody who's not prone to that, it really compromises one. And I think that's why I stepped out of school and went, there's so much emphasis on a degree according to that system, and it's why I went, I'm going to, typical me, of course, that system just didn't relate to me, and I wasn't prepared to slog through something, even if it was in my field. And the interesting thing is, if you look at the stats, only half, and I'm talking UK because obviously I'm basically UK based, but I don't know if people know that only half of UK graduates are working in a field that relates to their degree after leaving university. That's a big dropout. So I believe, again, the way one goes around putting those degrees together has a lot of male energy and a lot of that scientific approach to asking questions, seeing how your knowledge is or isn't, so that you can get that degree or not. And I think there's other ways to approach qualifying people. And that is why I'm not great on particularly wanting to sit down and study. I tried an MBA at one stage. I did get my banking exams at one point. And then a young guy that joined after I joined the company had a lesser qualification, got promoted over and above me because he had different accoutrements attached to his body. So, there's so much in that I think would be really fabulous to have a relook at when qualifying for degrees.
Good.
Thank you,
Valid
Janetta.
point. Valid point for both DESZIREE and Dr. DESZIREE and Janetta Berry.
I'm in very much alignment with what Janetta has said, because the schooling system is set up very much in the masculine energy. And even if you do get your qualifications, because I've been part of that, and thinking, well, if I just get this qualification, I just get the next one, then that will open doors. And certainly when I left school in 1980, the system didn't allow me to go to university because my family didn't have the budget or the funding for me. So I did the next best thing and went to the best college and did a trade skill and got, distinction portfolio grades, which took me into management. So it was very applied. And the work that we did in terms of the exams was very much case study and applied, so quite different. And I learnt skills and applied them in case studies, and that made me an effective and a really good manager when I graduated when I was 19. And so I went straight into management and was looking after people and training people. And that was because of the way that I went into the educational system after leaving school. It was City and Guilds at the time, which is not recognised anymore, but I got the best possible grades, and it made me a really good manager in terms of my applicable skills. And then I was advised when I was moving through my career that I had track record, I had experience, I had the results, but I didn't have the piece of paper. And there were other people that, were overtaking me. And so I then paid myself through part-time education and went to university and got the piece of paper, and then got my chartered status in marketing. So I chose a different career because it was something that I was good at and something I enjoyed. But again, that qualification was applied, and it was very much about situational case studies. What would you do in that situation? Which was not so parrot fashion. You had to learn some information and then just regurgitate it. So my experience has been very much about the application. And that's why I'm very good at the application in terms of my study. And the same again, I've just been doing my suicide and self-harm, and they very much want your personal application and case study, and what would you do in this situation, and can you apply it to your own personal life, and looking all around the subject. So I believe that the way that I've approached my training is very much, and because it's the enjoyable part of it, very much not just about learning facts, but actually the application. And so then it's been much easier for me to apply whatever I've learned within my career and whatever profession that I've chosen to do. And I would say that, as Jenetta has said, the masculine energy tends to almost supersede when the feminine energy comes in. They seem to get the jobs and the opportunities much more so, and I've certainly seen that since I left school in 1980, because that was very much of the feminine energy at home in relationships and having children, and the masculine energy was doing the work and getting the promotions. And certainly in England, that is changing, but not enough, because the masculine energy is still there, because the corporate entities are set up as masculine energy entities.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
agree.
Let's unpack there.
Yeah.
It was quite something, and you hit it on the head. Having said that, I'm going to play devil's advocate right now, because I really feel very strongly about what you're saying, Caroline. I'm a great advocate of it. But research has shown, this is amazing, in recent data analysis that suggests that boys are struggling to keep up with girls at key curriculum milestones. And can you believe it? Girls are already moving ahead of boys in their test scores. And as far back as 2015 test scores, around 83% of girls achieved a level 4 or higher score, whereas only 77% of boys in the same age. And we've all been bemoaning that it's a very masculine system. So that's like, okay, let's work that one out.
Thanks for those statistics.
I was going to say, couldn't it be in the way that Jenetta, in the way that you've said about the masculine, maybe because it's not about masculine as gender or feminine as gender, it could be that the female embodiment is now being empowered by the masculine energy. Therefore, that's why they're doing so well. Because even though they're feminine, since they've taken on this male energy, then it's helping them to become successful. It's helping them to strive, have that lion in them, the strength, you know, that type of thing. So yes, it's right in what you're saying. Maybe it is, yeah, the male the masculine energy. Yes, of course it is.
Well,
Thank you, Dr. Shin.
there are well, certainly when I left school, there was a uniform that women wore in corporate to do well. And I put myself in what I would call a masculinized uniform for women. So I used to wear shift dresses, which were very straight lined and, you know, kind of forced my curves into straight line dresses to look the part. And certainly, Jenetta, when you mentioned banking, you know, I have seen a lot of people in banking almost dress like a man, you know, in a shirt type blouse and jacket that looks very masculine, and trousers, and it's kind of, you know, and I was from that generation that really was you know, working and trying to battle with that, because if you look too feminine, you weren't taken seriously, you know. And what it did was it made a lot of women move into the masculine energy to perform and supersede some of their counterparts that were men. But, you know, there still wasn't, I felt when I first left school, the opportunities in the same way. They seemed to be dropped like, you know, confetti in the masculine world for the men, but the women had to work 10 times harder. And all it did was it made me resilient. It made me work harder. It made me award driven, and it made me shine. So, you know, I thought, well, I'll show you. And it just moved me into a place where I completely took up all the awards, you know, and was noticed, because it made me drive, it increased my motivation. And I always super succeeded because I felt that I had to succeed in a man's world.
Thank you, Caroline. Lots of great points there.
Yeah, I was even...
DESZIREE. Sorry, I was going to say, when I was in corporate, I used to wear French cuff shirts with cufflinks, and I would wear pinstripe suits, and I would wear ties.
Yeah.
Jenetta, sorry, go ahead.
Exactly.
Jenetta, then Dr. DESZIREE.
Yeah. And I was going to say, even I had a mentor who's been following World Jenny's Day. She's very close to my heart. And she sat me down and she said, if you really want to get somewhere in what you're doing, you're going to have to change the way you dress, because you're far too feminine. But get rid of your handbag and walk around with a briefcase. Yeah. And that's what I started doing, just to get out there and be part of the deal. And actually, I was dreadful because I still didn't conform, because I was the one that was going kindergartens at work for children, because I already had 2 by that time. So I'm saying, you know, Equal Rights for Women and the Women's Action Group. I was heading it, you know, that was just so me. So as much as management, which was majority male, were going, wow, she really has something about her, the other part were going, she's a militant. So you can imagine it was an interesting pathway.
Great stories that you're all sharing today. Thank you. Dr. DESZIREE, let's go over to you.
You know, it's just, you know, I came from the Caribbean, so, you know, the culture there is a bit different. And I think there are a lot of women in the world, more than men. But I do understand where sometimes we have to, you know, to bring out the masculine energy in us so that we can, step up to the plate and, take over. I wouldn't say take over, but I mean, have the opportunity to step into those positions in those places that are dominated by men, that are more masculine. So I do understand where Jenetta and Caroline is coming from, where, you have to sometimes get into that masculine energy to have those opportunities to, to adapt to these changes and hold your rightful place in those positions of authority as well. So I think that when we do that, we show up and also we show that we can also do what our male counterparts can do. Yeah.
Great point. Thank you, Dr. Desiree. Well, we are actually coming to the end of our show, and I wanted to give you each some time to share a little bit about the work that you're doing. So for people who are joining us for the first time, they don't know who you are, what value can you bring to our audience? Let's start with Dr. Desiree again.
So hi, everyone who's watching. I'm Dr. Desiree, the founder of Women of Heart Foundation, Women of Heart Awards, Face of Warheart Gentlemen of Heart Awards, and all of these platforms are designed to elevate, educate, empower, uplift, but most importantly, to celebrate humanity, all the wonderful things our men are doing to strive in the world. And through these platforms, we help the world heal. And individually, I am a international speaker, so I use my voice and spoken and written words every day through my messages to connect with the mindset and the heart chakra of my audience and also my clients. So this is what I do. So I bring value to the world through social impact, through my brands, and also through my vision as well as a visionary. Thank you.
Thank you. So much opportunity for people to engage with you. We have your email address here. Is there some other place you'd like people to go?
They can visit, my websites, connect with us because, all of these brands and platforms, they're amazing. And we have a group of women. Also, we have the men who empower speak. So get involved in some of our activities, get involved with our events, and it's a life-changing experience. You get to connect with beautiful souls, and what we're messages that we're bringing into the world, that there is a good side to this world. Obviously, sometimes it's more of the negativity, but what these platforms are side to the world, and there are beautiful souls out there who's on a mission to bring those necessary changes that the world solely desires, and that is to live in a world free to love, a world where everyone feels accepted, everyone feels regarded, everyone is listened to, and everyone feels welcome. And that's a world where abundance is for everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Desiree. Appreciate it. Let's go over to Jenetta Barry and the Epiphany Process and World Jenny's Day.
Okay, well, thank you for this. And so if anybody is wanting to know how to accurately communicate without being either over analytical with all that male side or overly emotional with all that female side, the Epiphany Process provides very accurate skills and techniques to be able to express yourself from the heart, so that there's an even balance of masculine and feminine energy in you when you express your deepest inner thoughts or your plans, or you're trying to communicate with those people that matter to you, whether it's family or friends or work or whoever it is, so that you really get your message out to them and you get the appropriate response back. World Jenny's Day is a charity arm of the Epiphany Process, and it was formed because the Epiphany Process was born out of my greatest life test, having not been able to communicate accurately with my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, who killed herself after she and I had an argument. And she died on World Mental Health Day, which is the 10th of October. So after many years of having to walk the talk, getting through that loss, we've been able to form World Jenny's Day on World Mental Health Day, using performing arts and the arts to normalize conversations around depression and suicide, and also to provide tools around depression and suicide, because your creative side is such an accurate way of handling life. And if you'd like to get hold of me, there's the epiphanyprocess.com is one website, and World Jenny's Day, which is WORLDJENNYS day.com, or you can get hold of me at Jenetta, JENETTA at theepiphanyprocess.com.
Thank you very much, Jenetta. Very comprehensive. And let's go over to Dr. Chan.
I thought you were going to say Caroline. All I can say is thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, because both you and I have these amazing courses on the power of elevated listening, about how to tune in to your inner world, how to face your dark shadow of the night, how to transcend and start a new life, how to connect to your inner essence, your childlike essence, your creative play. We are co-creators with God the Father, Mother, the universe, and all that is. And it's time we all got on to our own mission in this life. I have the gift, the quality, the tools, and the knowledge through the testimony of my own life to be able to connect you to your creative genius, your sacred heart, and your divine mind, for you to become the true highest version of yourself and finally set yourself free.
Set yourself free.
So free!
Yeah, free.
Free!
Go over to bust your stress.
Yes, setting yourself free from stress. I literally help you bust through your stress. Sometimes you walk around saying, I'm not stressed, I'm okay, but we're actually complaining about the relationship we're in, we're complaining about the lack of sleep or aches and pains, or that person, this person, or we're saying that we're feeling depressed about situations. That is your stress. It's just that we have become a society that thinks we have to put up and shut up about that hurts us the most. And so I literally help you bust through your stress so that you become calmer, that you connect from the mind, you disconnect from the mind and you reconnect back to your heart. And I work with chakra psychology using root cause therapy to literally break through the initial patterns that created the challenges in the first place. So generally, my work takes you back, generally into childhood and beyond, in terms of situations and circumstances that you faced that you didn't handle, and so they repeat into your life. You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk. Reach out, because I offer a free consultation either on Zoom, Skype, or Messenger on the video call or audio call, or you can call me on +44 if you're international, 07523 120 189. And I offer a free 30-minute consultation where you will feel incredibly relaxed, and more to the point, you will feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, and you will then start to process and integrate what you didn't integrate in the initial time of the trauma. And I look forward to helping you bust your stress.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Such an advert. She's an advert. She's an advert.
She is. Absolutely.
She's an advert, a walking advert.
We are grateful for everyone who has been watching or listening. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you back for the rest of our shows. Coming up right after this is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, followed by the Mallorca Connection and A Woman's Prerogative Part 2. Before we go, let's hear from Diane Floyd-Beam, one of our team members and a sponsor.
Hello, I'm children's author Diane Floyd-Beam, and I am co-host for several of the USA Global TV and radio shows. I joined because of the purpose of the USA Global TV and radio. They provide content for the viewers and listeners, an opportunity for people around the world to have their own show or even be a guest on an existing show. We truly believe in helping others get their positive message out to the world. We also have the opportunity for the listeners. You can watch on several platforms, and on YouTube, you can ask questions and even give a comment. We absolutely love it. I love being part of the USA Global TV and radio because I love positive messages, and who doesn't? And we need more of that in the world. We are a family, and we hope you will join us and become part of the family too.